Good morning. Thank you for being here, everyone. Let me have one interactive moment with you, and then I will leave you alone for the rest of the talk. Who is here has a technical profile, developer or developer adjacent? Show of hands. Right. It's to be expected at Drupal Dev Days, I guess. My name is clementg, and I'm not a developer or a technical profile. I'm a mogul. I'm actually a functional analyst, so I work closely with developers, talented developers at Randstad Digital. And I'm also a UX consultant, so I've been doing it for 15 years. I work at Randstad Digital. You may have heard about it. We are based mostly in Leuven and in Ghent, and we have been doing Drupal projects for a long time now. These are some projects where I've been also involved as analyst and UX consultant. So we're doing everything, all sizes and shapes of projects for clients, from web applications for libraries to corporate websites, e-commerce, all kind of things. And in this period, in this 15 years where I've been doing user experience consultancy, I've seen really a major change in the way clients have been approaching us about it. At the beginning, there was nothing. I mean, they didn't know what user experience was. It wasn't really known. We would have to explain to it what it is, why is it good, really try to shove it down their throats. There would not be time or budget or interest, actually. And year after year, we got it. They started to know what it is, got interested. Some wanted it as a bit of an age or trend. And now, in virtually all the requests we have from clients, user experience is there. They want, it has to be like something, a box to tick. We want a good user experience. We want a user-friendly website. I don't know if you have experienced it with your project or your product requirements that you might get from stakeholders. But I've seen really this big, rise in request. So it has become a requirement. The companies, the organization we work for, have understood that. It's no longer an option. If they want to be competitive, if they want to be relevant in the market where they are, we need to have a good user experience. Now, let me frame it for you with some numbers. I think we all like numbers. 70% of users are likely to leave a website if the user experience is not good enough. So 7 users out of 10 will just leave if it's not user-friendly, if they don't have good enough an experience. And now we actually have a baseline. We have websites, we have web applications that are good. So users, have tasted the taste of a good user experience. And if it's too far away from their expectations, if they get really frustrated, they know they have other options. So they will leave. Now the problem is, once they leave, almost 9 users out of 10 is not coming back. So you lose them once, and they're lost forever. They don't come back to your website or your application. They just look for something else, and they stay wherever they found it. It goes actually even further than that. 1 out of 3 customers is actually likely to leave a brand. So not only the application, not only the website, like the interface they've been using it, they will leave the brand if the experience was bad. And if they encounter more than 1 poor experience with your product, actually after 2 poor experiences, it's 4 users out of 5 who will just no longer be a client, no longer be a customer of this brand. So it's pretty painful if you think about it. Once they're gone, it's bad. And you actually see it in the number of failed projects that we have. So yeah, online projects do fail, unfortunately. And a report showed that 1 failure out of 4 is directly due to bad user experience. So all the money, all the time, all the efforts that an organization, that his team has been put into it, just crash into the ground because the user experience is bad. And I think all this is the reason why most organizations started to wake up and say, okay, this is not an option. We actually have to have a good user experience. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of time and a lot of money. Sorry. Yes, that's the quote that I wanted to share with you. It's Ralph Spetz, he's the former CEO of Jaguar and Land Rover. Said, if you think good design is expensive, you should look at the cost of bad design. Once you have created something that is frustrating users, even if you fix it, the cost of it is way higher than just prevent it from the beginning. In terms of money, it's really financially painful if you just do it. So that's the reason why most organizations are now starting to integrate a good user experience as a requirement. Now, that was the bad things, like the Damocles swords that we have on our heads, but it's also positive. Forrester made a report recently, and they've seen that websites were putting the effort to create a better user experience, a superior user experience than their competitors, would have conversions that are up to 4 times more than the competitions. 4 more purchases, 4 more conversions, whatever you want to be done. It's quite big. It doesn't mean it's systematically 4 more times, but the return of investment is actually pretty good. And maybe a last number that I'm going to share with you. We've seen that people tend to leave the website if it's bad, and they will not come back. Well, the other side is also true. So 3 users out of 4 will actually come back to a website because of a good user experience. Of course, the user experience has to be good enough. They have to remember it, but it has become a criteria for users when they select, the digital space where they're going to do their task. So, again, another good reason why we should include user experience in our work. Now, we say that, but user experience is still something that is not always very clear for everyone. What is it? What does it look like? Sure, you've put in your requirements a good user experience. That's easy to put that in your brief. But how do we do it? What shape does it do? It's a bit like Jen's internet. Not really knowing what it is. UX is the same things. Everyone knows the words. It's kind of trendy, but when you try to deep into what shape will it take, then it becomes fuzzy. Right. So let me give you one definitions that my favorite definitions of what user experience is, and it's the one by Eric Ries, who's like a major figure in the UX world, and he says, user experience represents the perception left in someone's mind following a series of interactions between people, device, and events, or a combination thereof. So what does it mean? Well, first, of course, there's interaction. But it's not like one interaction. It's not like one thing's, fixed in time. User experience is something that is time-based. It's a series of interactions. And each of these interactions, I'm going to perceive it, interpret it. It's quite personal. And I'm going to create an image of it on my mind, and this image is going to be my user experience. This is what user experience is. And so, of course, it's user and machines usually, but it could be humans and humans also, or events, as he says. But that's the idea. It's the fact that you have this series of interactions that are going to leave something in your mind. What does that mean? Because, okay, that's a nice definition. The thing that is interesting to me is that you cannot actually design user experience. So we all have heard, UX designer. That's a role that many companies have. But actually, what you are designing is not the user experience. Why? Because as Eric Rice said, you can't really, I can't make you feel something that you don't want. I can't make you, perceive something exactly the way I want. That would be great, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. User experience is like a burger. The difference between like a tasty burger and a disappointing one. It's usually not just one thing. It's like the combination of all these things together, and it makes it like something special. Sometimes it's hard even to define. Well, it's the same thing. When you take user experience, you have to take into account the perception of the person, how he interprets or they interpret things, the expectations that they had, the agency, what can they do or cannot do, the emotions that's involved, and projections, how they see themselves doing it. And all this is creating this very personal thing. And yeah, again, that's not something you actually can design. So if you can't design user experience, what you can design is a space in which the user experience is going to happen. That is something that we have in control. And actually, when we are saying, oh, we are going to design the user experience, well, we're actually designing a space for user experience. That's actually the difference. It's a space that we are creating that will try to facilitate the best experience possible for the most users. Is it going to be for every user? Exactly. Fortunately, no. But we can do something that is actually is likely to be working for most users. It's a bit like building of creating a building of or a house. You cannot make me feel what I want, or you can't oblige me to do this and that in this space. But you can design the space so that it's easy for me to find a room, to feel comfortable, and so forth. That's where we can actually have an impact. Right. How do we do it? Well, there's a lot of tools that have been developed over the years that UX designers or people who are actually involved in UX activities are going to or can use. There's a whole category. If you're interested, you can go to the website uxmethods.org is trying to catalog all these things, and we're not going to go into detail because that's not the point of today. But no, you probably have heard, and you probably are in touch in your work with some of these activities: wireframes, card sorting, interviews, and so forth. What do they all have in common? Well, it's putting the user in the middle. Putting the user at the center of what we are doing. This is what user experience design is. It's actually taking a user-centric approach. And all the things, all the tools that we can use is actually to learn about the users. Who are they? In what context do they have? What needs? How do they feel? What do they think? And the better we understand them, the better we know them, the better we can take decisions by taking into considerations who they are and what they want. That's the whole point. That's the whole UX approach. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Clément, that's fine. Thank you for the informations, but we're all developers. What do we do with that? Yes, it's true that you have technical responsibilities. You are, the ones in charge of building and creating the technical part of the project, of the products that you want to do. But every time you're doing this, every time you are, taking the decisions within, the code that you're writing, the architecture that you are going to make, technical, if this decision that you make has an impact on the end product, and usually it does, then you are helping to shape the user experience. You are, doing something that will impact the space in which the user experience is going to happen. And if you do this, well, then you're a designer. It's as simple as that. If you take a decision and you had the choice, you made the choice to take decision A instead of B, and this has an impact on how the user is going to feel, or how they are going to perceive the information at the end, then you have designed a part of the user experience. So you're developers and UX designers at the same time. Congratulations, you got an extra title that you can put on your CV. Well, okay, but I'm joking, but I really, really believe this. I don't think that user experience is like one role, it's like one person in the organization. He knows, he does the things, and we just, we'll just do like the technical translation of this. I think technical person, developers do have a role to play when we are actually building the products and building the products to make it as good a user experience for most users as possible. Let me continue with I will try to be as concrete as possible for you guys. I will give you 5 ways that I think developers or technical persons can do to help be better at designing, of being aware that they have this role in designing this user experience. The first one, ask about users. It's sound obvious, maybe to some of them, and it's good. But that's the most important one. That's really important. You cannot do user experience if you don't know anything about the users. That's not possible. When we do this, and we don't have any information, and we just build something without having any notion or who they are, what they want, how they're going to react, then we are actually doing something with faceless users. And this tends to be often the case if the feedback that we have is only in form of data. We are in a period where data is everywhere, and we can learn a lot on data. It's actually a good source. But one consequence of just having data is that it disembodies. We don't have face. It creates distance with the people that are actually behind. We see numbers. Numbers don't have feelings. So if we do it, one other consequence is going to happen. Not only we will create distance with the users and not really learn about them, but what is going to happen is that we are going to put ourselves as the users. Now I'll say, oh, I can do it, so every user that's going to use my product is going to be able to do it as well, right? Which is not the case, of course. We are not the users. That's one of the important rules in user experience design, is that we need to design for the users, and that's usually not us. And so if we don't have any information, if you don't ask, if you just get something, you just get to work, and you don't even ask yourself, who am I building this for? Who are they? Then you will put yourself, unconsciously you will put yourself as the users, and that's dangerous. And if you just use data, well, what will happen is that you will have something that should be logical. Oh, they will click this, then they will click here, they will go there, they will fill in the things, and it's done, perfect. And then you get feedback, and it doesn't happen this way. They don't click here, they go back, they do something, they will say like, oh, why? Why are you doing this? Idiots, you should have clicked there. Well, yeah, it's because they're not data. They're not logical person. We are humans. We are, using our instinct, our emotions. We will misinterpret things, and we will do something different than what you would expect. So one way to actually get to know the users, first, if you have someone like my role in your team, ask this person, tell me about the users. Who are they? Give me some information. I want to be able to have an image of who they are. Sometimes you have some documentations that help you do that. Personas, maybe some of you are using it. They can be really, really developed with all the things that this person could do. You don't have to go that far in my experience, but having an idea of who they are, this is really good. If you don't, it should be a trigger warning, and you should go ask the person who's actually giving you information. You might have some user research done in-house or maybe by something else. Take the time to have a look at it. It's amazing the effect that you can have just by looking at how a user is using your product. This is like the best arguments I can give on, I can say, oh, I'm an expert, you should change this, because this is not going to be understood. This is way less effective than just showing them a user struggling and not doing it. Usually, we say, oh, right, okay, we should change it. That's not how it should work. So if you have this, yeah, definitely look at it or ask questions, get a meeting, get involved if you can. That's even better. But again, ask yourself, who are they? And demand that you have the information. Otherwise, all the rest, you will just be blind. You will just do something that is not really user-centered because you don't know the user. Another really concrete point, be critical of UI. UI is usually what we get into our hands, and I think if you are developing Drupal websites, this is going to be often the case. What you get is descriptions of the functionality, and usually this is where you get the UX. Well, yeah, we've done this. It's designed, so it's fine. Well, this is not UX. This is Vanessa, and Vanessa is actually a Drupal theme. So just a template. It looks good, but this is not UX. This is just the visual design. This is how it looks, and we need to go deeper. So usually that's what we get. And if you think, oh, it's designed, they have thought about it, it's done, I can just implement this, this is going to be, could be an issue. Now, this mix between UX and UI, it has always been mangled, because it's the most concrete, it's the most visible part of our work, the most concrete, the thing you can show also to the clients, to stakeholders. So we usually tend to have the one instead of the other. I just typed UX in one job search, and you see usually, oh, it's a UX/UI role that we're looking for, because potato, tomato, it's the same thing, UI, UX, it's the person who's going to make it look pretty. But it's not the case. So when you get these files, when you get the mockup, however good looking they are, ask yourself, okay, do I have enough information on how it's going to be used? Because again, as I said, it's an interaction, it's a series of interaction. It's not something static. That's the difference between UI and UX. UI is static, UX is not. UX is using the things and reacting to it. So of course, I guess most of you are already asking the questions on top. You know, what's the font? What's the color? What CSS should I build? What hierarchy do I have in it? And of course, you have the technical things, what systems and so forth. But just when looking at the mockups, you will probably just ask, how should I actually create this into an HTML? You must ask yourself, what are the devices? Okay, I have the desktop versions, but how will it look on a smartphone? Which is good. That's one of the first questions you should ask. But I would advise you to go deeper. If you can, ask yourself information that are going to tell you more information on the users, or something that will tell you that you don't have information about the users, and then ask about it. Some things like, okay, what interactions do they have? If I click this, what happens? Do I know? Where do they come from? Okay, I have this page. What was the page before? What was the page after? How do I come on this information? What knowledge do they have? What do they know? And will they understand what they see when they come on this page? What are they trying to do in real life that would that makes them come on this page and actually do click on a button or another task on the page? Ask yourself if they have any limitations. Are there something that they will not be able to do for some reasons? Maybe the context they are in. Are they home? Are they outside? Is it work? Is it a stressful environment? And actually the state of mind comes with that. Are they relaxed? Are they stressed for something? That's questions you can just ask just by looking at the thing. Of course, it doesn't mean like every design you will have to have this checklist of I need to know all this information. But it's a good thing to actually try to think and to go deeper than just what you look. And of course, yeah, the unexpected actions. I'm going to come back to it because it's an interesting one that we are going to see on the next point, which is. When you have something that you need to build, a ticket that describes a functionality, I would advise you to play it out in your mind, phrase it, share it with colleagues, or with the person who is going who has written the tickets, for instance. And what do I mean by playing it out? Well, try to see it not as a static thing, but really as something that is dynamic. Okay, I have this interaction. This is what is described in the ticket. When you click this happens, it changes this in the database, and then you come back and we show the message. Okay, great. What are the users? We have seen it. What context do they have? But then you can also, again, have this little thing that you put yourself in your mind. Okay, I'm the user, and I'm coming, and I'm doing this. What were the previous steps? How do I come on this? And then what is the new situations once I've done it? What are the external factors? What if my internet drops, or I decide, I don't have any battery, or I have to stop, and I come back to do the task. All these little questions, like what could throw a wrench into the mechanic? These are good questions to ask just when you are looking at your descriptions of the functionality. Don't think just, okay, and of course you have to think about the technical parts, how am I going to build it, how is it going to be performant and secure and so forth, but really having it also played out as, okay, I'm a user and I'm going to use it, is going to raise up a lot of other questions. You will see that not everything is written, that there are a lot of assumptions just in the description, and these annoying questions, well, you get to ask them to people like me, and we have to answer them. So it's your little treat that you have, especially if you think of unexpected actions. Again, as I said, we are not logical people. We are like, they will do things that will blow your mind, where you think, why are they doing this? Well, it's a good thing when you actually, creating this functionality in your mind to think of this. What if they suddenly stop? Why if they refresh the page for some reason in the middle of things? What if they input something completely illogical in my field? What would happen? Because it will happen. Because we're humans and not machines yet. So it's a good thing. It will, you will build better user experience if you think of this. Oh, we should railguard this, or maybe we should have, an error message that is well defined. Oh, this should be way smaller because if they click this, something bad will happen. So, you can have actually an impact on the user experience just by asking yourself this type of questions. And fourth point is, an ID. Who here is involved in doing estimation of work that is going to be done? Okay, yeah, so majority of you, which is logical as technical person, that's usually the case. You are tasked to give, a projection on, how complex it will be, how much time, how much money will it cost to build something, and you have to take into considerations a lot of technical aspects to do this. It's not easy to make an estimation. Well, I propose to add yet another parameter into the bag. It's what you know about users. That actually can have an impact on how you are going to approach the creation and the development of a functionality. That's what symbol quadrant that you can use as an inspiration, where we have how much do we know about something from users, how much user insights do we have. Have we had similar issues? Do we have information from user research? Have we asked users about a specific functionality? And then you look at, how much impact will this functionality have? Is it low impact? And I mean impact on the system, but also on the business and on the user. How critical is what I'm going to build? And just by having this, then you can actually also see how much caution you can use when you are doing your estimation. You have a lot of information, we have done some testing, we know they need this, it's not a problem, and it has a low impact. There's not much precautions to take. You can actually, just be quite realistic with your estimation. If you have something that has low impact, but you don't know anything, you have no idea if the user is going to need it, how they're going to use it, will it fail or not, then you might start to take some precautions. Could we have some extra information? Is it possible? Can we move this part a bit later, so that we can, have maybe more information afterwards on how they are using it. And it's the same thing if you have something that is, you have information, you have you have done some tests, or your user researchers has done, some wireframing. They have done tests with users, and we know probably it's going to be fine, but it has a high impact. Again, take some more precautions than you would do. Okay, maybe we can split it. Maybe we can have a first part done, have it really used by users and see how they use it, and then do the rest. Maybe there are some extra things around that you could also postpone. So okay, we know, but we're not 100% sure. So I'm going to move things around. And this is especially the case, of course, for the last quadrant. You don't have any information and it's critical, this is a warning. This is oh, okay, you want me to estimate this? Okay, then tread lightly. That this is, okay, we need to have information. I can give an estimation, but know that I'm taking a risk. I know how to build it, but maybe it will crash. Maybe it's going to be, completely useless. And we have wasted a lot of money and effort. Then, you could think, yeah, but we are developers, we are technical people. It's not our role to do this. I don't think so. I think you have a say in this. You can say, no. I think this is we don't have enough information on the users to actually just do it like this and don't ask questions. It won't cost you anything to request extra insight if you think you don't have enough. So. That's something you can add to your tool. And a last point, last tip that I could give you is learning new perspective. User experience design is learning that we are not the users, so it's quite a mental gymnastic to put yourself in the shoes of someone else. And there are things you can do to actually make it easier. You know, by changing your perspective on some things, you can actually, you know, get used to thinking, okay, it's not me, it's someone else. This person is going to do differently than what I do. I will give you just 4 examples of you know, this new perspective. These are just examples. You can actually have like way more ways to do that. Accessibility, I guess. You know, if you're doing front end, you will have some accessibility rules that need to apply, especially now where it's going to be required by Europe. But it's actually a good thing. Learning on accessibility as a developer, how to do it, it will help you see how people that are, you know, different than, or are using things differently, have, you know, another way of perceiving things, of, you know, other ways of using their body. If you just start to think about it, then it's going to help you also like having this mental gymnastic again of putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Yeah, of course, for me it's super easy to click on this button. Is it for everyone? Well, if you learn about accessibility, you will start to have this information. Low tech. That's just another example, but you know, that's like a kind of a trend that is coming. How can we have, you know, low energy consumption? You know, or when you go global and you know that, you know, some of your users don't have access to you know, the best and the fastest internet, the best devices. You can learn, of course, like, okay, the thing that I've been building, will it work if it has like almost no energy, or, you know, on a low server, or it doesn't have, you know, the power to load a lot of JavaScript on the page? Well, this is something also that is going to help us, because this is a reality of many people. They don't have the latest smartphones. They don't have all the information, the fastest internet. Again, it's putting ourselves in the shoes of someone else. And we tend to think that, oh, this is going to be fine. Nah, not for everyone. So that helps. I know on Friday there's a contribution day. And I'm sure most of you have done you know, similar activities, hackathons, that kind of things. This is great also for this, for creating new perspective. You get an idea and you get to pitch it to someone else who is going to give you some feedback, and you are going to react. When you have an assumption and you share it with someone, and this person has another view than you have, you see it like this, nah, I would do it differently. That's a good thing also. Getting this capacity to actually, you know, integrate someone else's point of view, that's actually something that is going to help you designing better user experiences, because that's all about. And maybe a fourth one, there are some rules that you can learn on cognitive psychology. You know, the way our brain works. Some people have, you know, created some rules on how it works. These are super interesting. You know, why do we tend to not see some things on the screens? Why do we perceive something negatively when something happens? Or how can we make someone feel appreciated when they are doing an action? You know, when something bad happens, there are ways to actually soften, for instance, these informations. Usually they are underlined by cognitive psychology rules. You don't have to become an expert in it, but if you get some information, you get like an understanding, it's going to help you again creating this other mindset. I'm going to leave you with 2 last informations. As I said, UX is not a role. It's not a task. It's not, you know, oh, we are going to build all these things, and at the end we'll have, you know, the Band-Aids UX, or we'll have just one guy just going around doing some UX to the things, and then magically it's going to be better. It's not a deliverable. It's not, oh, we have a great design, so our UX is fine. Again, it doesn't work. We've seen it. It doesn't work like this. What is UX then? You know, this putting the user in the center, having this user-centric approach. It's actually a mindset. That's what it is. So it's not really a skill, and this is why it's also important for developers to actually acquire it. You get this information. You get this this ability to actually impact it, because actually the whole team should have this mindset. Everyone should, put the users in the center when they are doing things. It's not just one person. And the last thing, if anything, user experience is realizing that we actually have an impact on people. Users are people. That's the thing. We can make their day. We can, make them feel great, or we can ruin their day, have really, really frustrating experience. This is in our hands. When we build something, this is the impact. And this mentality, this mindset of putting the user at the center, it's actually wanting to make them win. We want to make them, having a great experience with our thing. That's what it is. So if you care about the people, then you will do a great user design. That's what it is. Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes. Yeah, there's a.
Hello. Okay, thanks for the talk. Really interesting.
Thank you.
And we have been trying out UX at Factorial in the company I work in. It's an agency, so and we have to estimate upfront. And we tried putting a kind of 30% budget for UX and UI.
Which is usually going hand in hand.
The main problem had been we couldn't figure out the deliverables to justify UX.
Yeah, it's difficult. And you will have clients that just say, oh, no, it's too expensive. Why would I do it? It's not tangible enough. Put it on development features.
Yeah, and this has led to a problem that the UX and the UI is fighting for the same budget. Yeah. And then we also realized how important the user flows, we call it user flows. I hope I interpreted it correctly, where does it start and what is, it doesn't take into account the mood of the person, but still, what journey, does it take 20 clicks to reach where they want, ultimately, or something. And so the development team gets involved as well. So now the development team is also spending the budget of UX, which is making them unhappy. So, and so what I'm trying to hear is, do you have any suggestions for making, UX really understandable from the client, for the client?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a stingy thing. It's not easy, and it's usually case by case. I have a lot of frustrations knowing that it's not going to do that. We don't have enough information. We are going blind, and if the client does not want to spend the money, it's their products. And I work in an agency where Once Digital is also an agency. We also have clients. They decide at the end. So what I'm doing is actually trying to make them understand the risk that they are taking. You don't want to do it? Okay. Having a few conversations with the users. Putting a survey just to have some feedback on it. Spending some analytics to understand them. Validating the wireframes or the design that has been done with a few users just to see, if they work. This is going to this is so much time. That's the time you need to invest. If you don't do it, you could have the whole project just crash. You pick. And with some clients, it works. They will say, all right, I will put some money, some budget, so you get a little a win. Some just don't have the budget or don't want to spend it, and then we have to make peace with it. But the thing is, I think I see my role as making it as clear as possible that this is the risk that they take. You don't do it, you're blind. You might hit the wall. And there's nothing we can do. It's not that the product is bad. The product will work great. From a technical perspective, it's going to be good. But maybe it's not for the users because you haven't spent enough, money on it. So it's just upfront trying to convince them as much as possible. And what I do usually is that if I see that I still have some room, I will try to do some guerrilla user experience activity, and I will show it to clients. Okay, I took a bit of time just doing this, and this is what I got. This is the insight I got. I can't do much more, because actually I shouldn't have done it, but this is what you get. Usually that's also something that is going to trigger them, like, oh, right, yeah, I didn't know that. That was a blind spot. And then sometimes they actually like free up some budget. That's okay. That's the best actually you can do. And on the, developers are going to use some of our budgets and others, and we don't have a lot of budgets. That's a discussion that you have to have with the team. Again, I see user experience as a teamwork, as something that is linked. So if it means that the developers are going to spend half of your budgets because they think they will do this and this, that's a discussion. Well, maybe we can do it together. In order to, I should be involved, or the analyst or the user researcher should be involved. You can't, half my time. I need this and this, but of course we will integrate you. When we do the estimations, when we do things, that's where you will have maybe a little bit of this budget that can be used. Have a meeting where I will put a handover explaining really in details what we are going to do, who are the users, why we are going to do this. Yeah, this is UX. It's an input for the developers, but I would understand that this comes from the UX budget of it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Again, thank you for being there, for your time, and have a great rest of the day.